Hey, it's John McCabe. Welcome to the show. Hey, welcome to the John A. McCabe Show, where it's all about accelerating your authority in your business or field of expertise. And I do that by helping entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, and speakers get seen, get heard, get noticed on any device, anywhere, anytime, in as little as 100 days, also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now, what does it take in today's digital and social world to attract attention or to get people interested enough in your stuff that they don't filter out your message when they're searching, tweeting, posting, or scrolling through their feeds? Now, when it comes to the world of digital marketing, there's so many different areas you can utilize to grow your business. Now, even though you don't need to incorporate them all into all the strategies into your business, the more you utilize for your business, the more effective you'll be at growing your business, your brand, your income, and serving more people. Now, in today's online world, if you aren't paying attention to what's working to attract attention, grow your audience, and convert them from observer to lead and then to customer, then you're going to get left behind. Now, some of the questions I hear on a regular basis are, where do I even start? What do I focus on? Or how can I do it myself? Now, these are just a few of the questions I'll get answered by my guest today, Gene Ginsberg. Now, Gene's a serial entrepreneur, digital sales and marketing expert, and more, with more than 10 years of industry experience, helping companies scale revenue, optimize sales and marketing processes, and improve productivity. Gene is also the CEO of Gimbal Digital Marketing. Now, Gimbal's clients range from brand name Fortune 500 companies to innovative startups. Now, Gimbal Digital Marketing works with clients to help them acquire new customers through digital marketing by incorporating various strategies to grow their clients' businesses, from creating complex customer journey funnels to setting up retargeting campaigns to bring users back to the client's sites. Now, every client is different, so they create custom strategies based on your entrepreneurial journey. Now, Gene's passion is empowering entrepreneurs and business owners. She gets up every day striving to help businesses achieve their goals. And after 10 years in the digital marketing space, Gene mostly focuses on consulting businesses, speaking engagements, and digital thought leadership. Now, she's a speaker in the world of online marketing and a top influencer on the web. She regularly writes blogs and creates videos about topics such as entrepreneurship, marketing strategy, Facebook advertising, marketing automation, social media, and many others. She's also the author of several online guides and resources, including Digital Marketing Strategy, the Do's and Don'ts, and Facebook Advertising, How to Use Paid Social to Grow Your Business. So be sure to stick around, because when I come back, I'm going to be joined by my guest today, Gene Ginsberg. Hey, welcome back. When it comes to marketing your business, most entrepreneurs or business owners are looking to create a scalable, predictable method to grow their business and drive more leads and sales. Now, which leads many of them to the world of digital marketing nowadays. But what are some of the things a digital marketer will do for you and your business? What are some of the strategies? Well, they may include consumer avatar development. Well, what's that? Well, that means that they create a dialogue with a select few of your current customers to better understand their pains, fears, frustrations, or ambitions, to help them craft messaging that's really going to resonate with your potential target market. Or they may look at your products. They may recommend a product strategy specifically customized for your business. Or maybe they get into marketing automation, where they create email sequences to incorporate your current product strategy and at the same time indoctrinate or introduce your product to new customers who are coming in through your funnels. Or maybe they help you with your paid media, where they feed your funnel with paid traffic through Facebook, YouTube, Google AdWords, and many other platforms. Or maybe they do some remarketing, And that's where they send interested users back to your website or back to a specific funnel to complete the purchase. And there's so many other strategies and tasks that they can help you with when it comes to growing your business and your income. Now, my guest today is Jean Ginsberg. She's a versatile, accomplished, industrious marketing professional who grows reputation, revenues, and ROI through strategic marketing programs. She has an extensive experience managing affiliate, shopping, email, lead generation, media, and online advertising programs with a superb written and verbal skills to tailor messages to your ideal target market. So please give it up with likes, love, shares, and a virtual flurry of thumbs up and heart icons across the screen for my guest today, Jean Ginsberg. Welcome, Jean.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I'm really excited to be on the show.
Well, thank you very much for being on the show. Definitely look forward to it. Jean and I have actually never met in person. We do belong to in the same community, that being a digital marketing community. Jean's obviously much more active. She focuses on her business for the last 10 years in digital marketing. So Jean, I'm not sure if you've actually taken the time to catch any of the shows or not, but the first thing I like to do before we get too far into the interview is actually a speed round of questions. Now, don't worry, it's nothing that you had to study for. There's no right or wrong answer. There's no test at the end. What I'd like you to do is just give the first thing that comes to your mind in a few words or a sentence. And as always, I'd like you, if you're watching along, please type in your answers to the questions in the comment field and play along with Jean. So you all set, Jean?
Yes, I'm excited.
Excellent. So the first question is, name the book that impacted your life the most.
That's a good question. I'd say most recently, a book that has impacted me and my business has been Asked by Ryan Levesque. And for those who are not familiar with that book, it's a book about creating surveys for your marketing funnel and basically asking users and asking your potential customers what it is that they want out of your product. And
nice.
It's an amazing book.
Excellent.
I highly recommend it if you're in digital marketing.
Yeah. So when you were a young girl, who was your celebrity crush?
Mark Paul Gosselaar from Saved by the Bell.
Okay. Yeah, a very popular show back in
in the early 90s.
Yeah. It's kind of dating ourselves, but back in the 90s.
Dating ourselves, definitely.
So other than the book that you just talked about, what is either a book, a podcast, or a show that you're into right now?
So I have been following the Perpetual Traffic podcast by Digital Marketer probably since its inception, which is about, I think, a year and a half ago.
Yes.
I follow Digital Marketer in general, but this podcast is really great. I mean, they talk about all the most recent Facebook advertising trends and just a bunch of other things that are related to digital marketing. So
yeah,
I highly recommend it.
They have some amazing content, and that's a great podcast. I have a subscription to that one as well. So, Jean, are you currently working with any coaches?
I'm currently not, but I'm on the lookout for a business coach for my own business and my own reference. I think it's always important to continue on learning. So yeah, not at the moment, but on the lookout.
Excellent. What's your favorite movie of all time?
I would say favorite movie would be So I Married an Axe Murderer. Again, probably dating myself a little bit.
That's an awesome movie.
It is, yeah. Just amazing acting. I love Mike Myers, and he plays two characters in that movie. For anybody who hasn't seen it, he plays himself and his dad in that movie. So just a really great, amazing comedy from the early 90s.
Yeah, fellow Canadian, so I love Mike Myers and any of the work that he does. So Jean, are you currently involved in a mastermind?
Yeah, kind of. I just got accepted into the Entrepreneurs Organization, which I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
Yes.
Yeah. Across, I think, the world now. I mean, they have offices and chapters in every city, pretty big city here in the United States. And so, yeah, I'm really excited about that. It's been, I've heard really good things about growing your business through Entrepreneur Organization. So, yeah, so I'm actually going to my first meeting in April.
Excellent. So name a person, either dead or alive, who you would most like to meet and have dinner with.
I think the answer to that for me would be the comedian Bill Burr. I absolutely love his comedy. He's just completely off the wall sometimes, and I think it would be very entertaining to have dinner with Bill Burr.
Excellent. So what's your favorite type of vacation? Is it beach or adventure tour?
I definitely go with adventure tour. I'm the outdoorsy type. I've been running and cycling and hiking, I don't know, probably for the last 20 years or so. So I go with adventure tour.
Excellent. Now, what's the best business advice you ever received?
For that one, I think the main thing that I would say there is never give up. If you have a business, the one thing is to continue on innovating and to continue on going with your business, because if you just, if you give up, then there's no more business and you're just back to square one. So definitely follow your dreams and don't give up.
Excellent. Now, the last question is a two-part question. So when you treat yourself, which of these items would you treat yourself with? Would it be water, beer, or wine? And on the other side, pizza, wings, or salad. If you were going to treat yourself, which would you pick?
So am I combining the water?
You're going to have one of each. One of each. Or some of our guests just take it all.
I definitely love wine. And I love salad if they were separate. But if they were together, I'd probably go with beer and pizza, because that is a really good combination.
Excellent. So, Jean, can you give the viewers who may not know you or your origin story a little bit more, fill us in a little bit more about you and how it is you get into the field of digital marketing? Sure,
yeah. So as you mentioned before, I've been doing this for 10 years, and I started off in affiliate marketing. And I worked for a affiliate network for a few years and really just enjoyed kind of the digital marketing space, and moved on to work for an advertiser and then an agency. So definitely have been on all sides of the coin. And then a few years ago, I decided that I would start my own business and start my own consultancy. So here I am now.
Yeah, so I was just going to ask you. So I noticed that you moved from the working with an agency to making the shift to working for yourself as an entrepreneur. So a couple questions. What made you want to venture out on your own to become an entrepreneur? And what are some of the major differences that you discovered that maybe you didn't know about when you actually made that shift?
Well, in terms of venturing out on my own, yeah, I was working for a couple of agencies back when I started, and I just felt that it was time for me to fly on my own. I find it very rewarding to be working directly with clients. So I just decided that this was going to be the next step for me. And I love entrepreneurship in general. I feel that entrepreneurs are really the drivers of our economy. So I really wanted to join the ranks of that. And then, what was the second question you had?
What did you discover that maybe you didn't realize at the time when you ventured out from working with an agency to working on your own? What were things that you discovered, or the challenges that you maybe faced that you weren't quite aware of before you ventured out?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because a lot of times when you're just starting out as an entrepreneur, there's a lot of things you're not even aware of, which I feel like that could be a really good book or something like that for someone to write. But yeah, it's like a lot of times when you're working for a company and you're an employee, like a lot of things are taken care of for you. So, for example, like I had to learn bookkeeping, and I had to learn how to register my company with the Secretary of State, or just all of these like small things that you never really realize that you need. And then until you become your own business owner and an entrepreneur, where you actually have to do it all yourself. And then also the other thing was like people around you. So as an employee, you probably work in an office and you have a lot of people around you. But when you're an entrepreneur, it can be a bit of a lonely road, and especially in the beginning before you have your own team that you've created. So yeah, I guess I'd say there's a few challenges if you're starting your own business. I mean, things that can be overcome. But definitely things to look for and keep in mind when you're starting your own business.
So when you were working with the digital agency and doing what you're doing now, are you working on the same types of things for clients, or did you focus on, so when you went out on your own, you started focusing on different aspects of digital marketing?
Yeah, different aspects. Before I did mostly affiliates, so that was the agency that I worked for, as I was working on their affiliate marketing programs for their clients. Mm-hmm. So when I ventured on my own, I did do some affiliate, but at the same time, I also had the opportunity to learn a lot more about Facebook advertising and marketing funnels, which became my specialization over time. So yeah, it differed a little bit when I was working directly for the agency.
Excellent. And have you over the last few years of working on your own, have you built up, is it just yourself? You built up a team or you have employees? Can you give us a little bit about the makeup of your organization?
Sure. So far, we have contractors and a couple of employees, but yeah, most of the contractors are kind of specialized in what they do. So a copywriter, a graphic designer, a developer, a virtual assistant. So we're basically there to help out with the projects. I'd say I'm the chief strategist, but then we have people who are specializing in, let's say, copy and creating email copy or landing page copy for the client. So yeah, I'd say I've been building the team over the last several years, and it's pretty exciting when you have new employees and new team members. So yeah, it's been a great experience.
Now, are most of your current clients, are they local businesses to you, or are they clients from around the globe? Can you give us a little bit of the makeup of your current clientele?
Around the globe. So I have don't really have anybody. I mean, there are some local clients that I am working with currently, but across the country. So I have clients on the East Coast and the West Coast, and actually clients in Australia. So around the globe. I mean, anybody who needs digital marketing and has an online presence can use our services. So it's anybody, I guess, who speaks English.
Yeah, exactly. So Gene, as you and I both know, the world of digital marketing really encompasses so many different things and so many different strategies. What would you say are the top 3 things that are working in the digital marketing world the best right now?
Yes, one of the number of things that we've been working on with our clients lately that have been working really well have been creating marketing funnels for them, and then feeding these funnels with Facebook advertising, which has been working really well in terms of results, and retargeting, so bringing users back into the site and bringing them back to the client side and basically re-engaging them with them again. So I'd say those are the 3 things that have been working really well.
So that's Facebook ads driving to a funnel, and was there something else? Retargeting.
Funnels, Facebook advertising, and retargeting.
Retargeting, and that's the 3 things that your organization specializes right now.
Yep, yeah, that's exactly what we do. I mean, we do additional things beyond that, but I'd say those are the 3 things that have been working really well for our clients lately.
Excellent, and as you know, as you may or may not know, the overall theme of this show is accelerating your authority, and really targets entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, and speakers. Now, are they all candidates for utilizing digital marketing in their marketing strategies? And if so, can you give some specific examples of how they may differ in their approach based on who they are?
Sure, I would say that this kind of strategies that I just mentioned, the funnels, the Facebook ads, and the retargeting can be used by almost any business that has an online presence, I would say. So anybody ranging from lead generation. So for example, we're currently working with a company that is a large SaaS, but basically they have a big ticket SaaS product. So I mean, it's like upwards of $50,000 to a couple $100,000. So then, of course, there would be a lead generation play that we have utilized. Info product owners, I think the strategy has worked really well, and we have current clients that are currently utilizing their current clients that are info product owners are currently utilizing the strategy, and of course, e-commerce and physical product owners also really great. In terms of the differentiators, creating the funnel, I guess, would be different for a lead generation campaign versus like an e-commerce campaign, because with lead generation, you're nurturing the lead, but then you're sending that to like let's say a sales rep where he would close the lead and then sell like the big ticket item. Right. But with e-commerce, you're might be just creating a funnel for selling a $40 product or whatnot.
Right. So let's look at the sort of traditional brick and mortar business as an example. So how could a lead funnel work for a brick and mortar business? Obviously, it's maybe let's assume they're not Amazon and they don't have a huge online presence, meaning you can't shop online for them. It's just you have to go to the store and actually purchase the products. So how could a funnel system work for the typical mom and pop brick and mortar business?
Well, we could use a funnel for that, but also I think what we've done in the past at Ginball is we have used Facebook advertising to bring people into the store, the brick and mortar store. So, for example, one of the things we've used in the past has been like a discount, or so let's say, for example, if you come into the store, you get 10% off your purchase. Same thing with restaurants. We've done that quite a bit for brick and mortar stores and restaurants in the past. Again, bring in this coupon and you will get a free appetizer or something like that. So that's been worked really well to get more foot traffic into the store.
So are you utilizing a funnel for them to actually get the coupon or the discount, where they actually have to go in and download it, or is it just straight, you're using ads to bring awareness and people, it says, get 10% off your next appetizer. So the ad just appears in their feed. I just want to clarify sort of, for the business owner that's watching this, how they may incorporate it into their business. Are they taking them somewhere, maybe to the website or to a funnel, or is it just the awareness of, hey, it's 10% off, just come to our store or a restaurant between these hours?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. So typically it does go into a funnel. So if the ad might be, let's say, for a free appetizer for a restaurant, let's say 10% off for a brick and mortar store. So then that ad would lead to an opt-in page. And so they would provide their email address, and then they would then get an email that gives them the coupon or the coupon for the free appetizer or whatnot. So yeah, so there is a way which we have utilized to put these users into a funnel, and then eventually they are on the email list and the CRM, and so at that point they can be put into a funnel, let's say a welcome series that talks about like what the particular store or restaurant offers, or it could be just a follow-up series where maybe they're getting coupons every, couple of months for a free appetizer, or let's say another discount or a flash sale at the restaurant or at the brick and mortar store. Which is really sort of the overall strategy when it comes to digital marketers, taking an individual from observer to a lead to eventually a client. Would that be a fair statement? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's basically the way I would describe these funnels are nurture campaigns. So you would want to engage these users for someone who has never heard of your brand or never heard of your brick and mortar store or your restaurant, and then allow them to learn more about you, what your mission is, to provide more details about, let's say, your products or your brick and mortar store, and then eventually become a paying customer. So the strategy or the funnel, it sounds like they differ slightly between whether you're selling, maybe if you're a speaker and you're selling your speaking engagements, or you're selling a high-end coaching program versus just selling an e-commerce product or maybe selling a brick and mortar store. It sounds like sort of the initial part sounds the same, get the observer to become a lead, but the end part, the sales component, sounds like it could be different, where obviously if you're selling a $10,000 or $20,000 coaching program, most people are going to buy that over the phone. They're actually, over the internet, they're going to want to talk to somebody. And a brick and mortar, you're actually going to drive them to a specific location. Yeah, different strategies again for different types of products. So yeah, one strategy for brick and mortar stores where you're increasing foot traffic. Another strategy for just selling e-commerce products at let's say $40 to $100 or something like that, or another strategy where you're more of a lead generation play because you want to sell a very high ticket product. Let's say like that example I mentioned was the SaaS product, which again is like $50,000 to $200,000. So that's, of course, users not gonna purchase that online. They would want to learn more and talk to a salesperson, but that funnel could be a way to bring in leads for that particular client. Now, do you, in your business, do you have a price point that where you advise clients to say, well, if you're looking at that price point, I think people aren't going to buy it online. You're going to need to have some interaction with them, either a phone call, a Skype call, or face-to-face interaction. Do you have that price point that you advise clients to say, yeah, they will, or from my experience, they won't purchase, just online? Sure. Yeah, I think that price point is usually about a couple $100. So I think people are willing to purchase online for a couple $100, maybe even like $500. But I'd say anything above that, especially if they're not very familiar with you, then, or your company or your product, then typically then that becomes like a lead generation play where it's, you actually are bringing leads into your salesperson for your salesperson, and then they're answering questions and getting on the phone and talking to the potential client.
Now, how does that differ if you're doing a product launch for an info product that's, say, a $2,000 price point? Because, I'm sure that you've purchased a lot of $2,000 info products where you never talked to anybody on the phone.
That's true. So for those, it's usually just a longer campaign, and so there's a lot more content for a product like that. So a lot of times that we've done in the past with our clients that are selling a similar product that's maybe in the $2,000 range would be creating a series of videos that talks about that particular product or that's related to that product. So basically bringing a lot of value, bring a lot of content to the potential user, and then putting them through a nurture campaign. So emails or other touch points that the user would be able to engage with, and then eventually selling the product. So yeah, that does of course happen, and I'm sure a lot of people on this show have bought like $2,000 digital marketing courses or other courses. So it's just, I think I would say, a longer process in terms of engaging and nurturing.
Yeah, so the strategy is very similar, but it just takes a longer time frame for the seller to get the client to know them, like them, and trust them enough that they're willing to spend that $2,000 online and feel comfortable in doing so. Yeah,
and I think also a lot of it had to do with authority. So creating, if you're a business owner and you have a $2,000 product, of course you want to make sure that you're showing the authority because that you're an expert in the field and that this $2,000 product is actually of value to your customers, your potential customers. Yeah,
there's a lot that goes, as you and I both know, there's a lot that goes into doing a product launch sort of series of videos where you are building your authority, you're showing real life examples, there's lots of testimonials and benefits to using the product or service. Now, Jean, seems like the buzzword lately is really around the term funnel. I mean, we talked about it several times here. It seems to be the buzzword: sales funnels, lead funnels, marketing funnels. So in layman terms, what is a funnel and what's the significance in creating one?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So we've mentioned a little bit here on what a funnel is, but I can kind of take a step back and make sure that our audiences who might not be familiar with it have a really good understanding. So a funnel is a series of touch points that allow the user, potential customer, let's say, to engage with your brand. And so these touch points can be anything from advertising to emails, to, say, retargeting ads, to exit pops. I mean, there's so many things that you can create in terms of what the actual touch point is. So, and it basically allows you to bring a user into the fold and engage with your brand. And so these users who are engaging with your brand can learn about your mission, your product, your company. They can really have just a better understanding, and that grows trust, which is what we're looking for. We want these users to have a better understanding of what you do, what your company does, and then eventually trust your company to get the job done, whatever it is. It could be a service, it could be a product, and it allows the business owner to nurture that user and to eventually, once the trust is gained and these users can better understand what it is that you do and what your company is all about, to upsell them to additional products in the funnel. So that is the significance of creating one. And so there's a couple different types of funnels. There could be an acquisition funnel. So basically, for taking a user who's never heard of your brand and funneling them through a nurture campaign where they again get to know your mission and your product and your company. There could also be a retention funnel. So if they've already, let's say, they could just purchase your product, you can send them, let's say, a welcome series, or you can send them instructions on how to, let's say, use your product or your service. Use your product, let's say your course, for example. So there's different ways of engaging, but basically it just all goes down to engagement with new potential customers or current customers.
Can you touch on some of the various components of a funnel?
Sure. So I won't get into like all of the details of creating a funnel because it really depends on the goals and the products of each business owner or the services of each business owner. But basically the way I like to think about a funnel, there's a top of the funnel, a middle, and a bottom. And so for the top of the funnel is usually we're talking about things like awareness. So we want to create content such as videos or blog posts, and so this just allows the user to get to know you and your products and your, let's say, your mission or your company better. So just a lot, you can again put things in a video that talk about a specific piece of content, or you can write a blog post about it, and it just again shows your expertise and your that you're actually aware and that you're that you're a business owner. So the middle of the funnel could be a couple of things. It could be more content, or it could be, let's say, taking the user to the next level of the funnel. So a lot of times in the middle of the funnel, we might take them to a lead magnet. So a lead magnet, what we call in the industry, can be such a thing as like a freemium product. So for example, it could be a guide or a checklist, or like how to do something. So you would opt in, you would have the user opt in, and they would receive a lead magnet. And so that would be the middle of the funnel. So again, they've already kind of become aware of your company or your product, so that's the top. And they get to the middle where they might already engaging with you and giving you their email address. And then also the middle of the funnel is where we start using retargeting. So we're showing ads to these users who have potentially engaged with you, and then bring them back to the site if they haven't, let's say, made a purchase or haven't opted into your lead magnet. And then the bottom of the funnel is usually when the user makes a purchase. So that could be anything from what we call a tripwire, which is like a low price point product. So again, they've already engaged with you and they have a pretty strong trust factor with you. So they might be able to spend, let's say, like $10 to $20 with you on a product that, that's pretty, is exactly what they're looking for. And then also the bottom of the funnel could be your core offer. So for example, you might be, your core offer might be a course for $2,000. So at that point, they've already purchased, let's say, a $10 or $20 product, but then, they're ready to purchase the core offer. So I would, that's how I would strategize in terms of creating your funnel. So make sure to look at the top, the middle, and the bottom.
And when you implement funnels, we're going to talk a little bit about in the next question about driving traffic. But in implementing, when you implement a funnel for a client, do you give yourself or do you give the client a time frame as to when they can expect to receive a return? Is it within the first month that they're going to receive a positive return on the investment, or is there some sort of parameters that you look at? I mean, we're going to get into analytics and traffic, but I'm just wondering, just from a general standpoint, is there, you typically you tell your client that there's, within a month or 3 months or 6 months, they're going to see a positive return?
Sure. I would say it depends, of course, on the product. Again, for, let's say, I think I mentioned earlier, we're working with the current SaaS company that has a product that's $50,000 to, let's say, $200,000. So again, the sales cycle there would probably be much longer. Mm-hmm. It might take a year, let's say, to close a deal like that, because it is a very high ticket product. But I'd say in general, I would say maybe 2-3 months for products that range, let's say, $40 to, let's say, $2,000 or something like that. You want to make sure it's basically like looking at it as a sales cycle, right? So you want to nurture these users and get them, to get them into the funnel and for them to learn more about your company and your product. But so it's going to take a little bit of time to convert them to paying customers. So I'd say something along the lines of, a couple of months to 3 months.
Excellent. So Gene, now that you have your funnel built, what are some of the most effective ways of getting traffic to it? You just have a funnel now, so okay, how are people going to find it?
Sure. So yes, when you have a funnel, part of your job, the big part I would say, is definitely done. You're able to nurture and engage your users. But of course, if nobody knows about this funnel, and then it's just sitting around there and being idle. So you want to, of course, feed this funnel. And everything that I've seen and done, I'd say paid traffic is really the way to do that. And I feel that paid is definitely a proven and more predictable method of bringing in new and potential customers. Of course, there's other methods like SEO and organic and things like that, but I feel like paid is just more predictable. and available for your business. So in terms of the types of paid traffic out there, so of course everybody has heard of Facebook and Facebook advertising, and we'll get more into the details of that. But of course there's other platforms like YouTube and native advertising and display networks. So there are a variety of different types of paid media channels out there and paid media platforms. I think it really depends on what you're looking to do. But of course, Facebook is definitely the one that's been around lately and the one that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, it seems like Facebook marketing is really leading the social platforms with respect to paid marketing. So what's the latest buzz that you've heard with respect to Facebook marketing and where it may be heading?
Sure. So yeah, I mean, everybody has been asking me about Facebook marketing, and that's definitely one of our specializations. So, but I feel like I think there's like over 1 million advertisers now on Facebook. So it's definitely has been growing a lot. Its inception, I think, a few years ago. So in terms of Facebook advertising, it's just definitely been the hit with brands and advertisers. I mean, the reason for that is, I mean, even just our own results at Ginball, but also everything that I've heard and talked to people and conferences I've been to is just everybody's seeing really good results with Facebook at this time. So we're seeing low CPMs, we're seeing low CPCs. So CPMs are cost per 1,000 impressions, or CPCs are cost per click. So that's the method of how basically Facebook charges you when you're running advertising with them. And the other piece about Facebook that I love and why I think it works so well is their excellent targeting capability. So you can find users with very specific interests, and the way to do that is through likes of pages and other demographic data that Facebook has from third-party integrators or aggregators. So yeah, there's just so many ways of targeting your potential customers. So you really find a really good audience mix when you're doing Facebook advertising. And in terms of what's been working lately, so everything that I've seen, and even for the clients that we've worked with, video and Facebook Ads Messenger have been working well lately. So video as an ad unit. For example, one of our clients that we're currently running video with as an ad unit, we're seeing less than $1 cost per lead. So really good in terms of creating that kind of awareness in your video and providing some content and value right off the bat to your potential customers. And then this new ad unit that Facebook just recently rolled out, I think only a couple of months ago, it's a Facebook Messenger ad. And this one is used, I'd say, primarily for kind of, middle to bottom of the funnel. So it's usually not designed, like the Facebook Messenger ad is not designed for awareness. It's more for people who are interested already, like in purchasing your product or service, and just usually have a couple of questions and need to talk to, let's say, a sales rep or just a rep from your company who can answer some questions. So they have a really high intent of purchasing, and so they just need a little kind of extra push to get there. So it's mostly used for I'd say middle to bottom of the funnel. So yeah, I mean, just awesome, amazing platform, Facebook advertising, and highly recommend that to people who are who are looking for new customers.
So with regards to the complexity, now has Facebook made their Facebook advertising user-friendly for the, let's say, people that aren't in our space that really don't know how to do this? So have they made it user-friendly enough that the average person who maybe doesn't really know a whole lot about marketing, maybe their mom and pop brick and mortar business, are they able to go in and utilize Facebook marketing?
I'd say yes and no. The user interface is pretty friendly, user-friendly in terms of setting up your campaign. And it's you can create an image and write some ad copy and things like that and start running your ads. But I'd say there's definitely a lot of intricacies that comes to learning about your target audiences. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I think a mom and pop shop can set up a campaign in Facebook, but I don't know if they're going to get really the best results. Typically, the reason why you want to hire an expert is just because Facebook changes their products, changes their policies pretty quickly. So you need a person or a company or an agency that really stays on top of that and really lives and breathes Facebook advertising. So yeah, typically I haven't, when I've, let's say, spoken to potential customers who have done Facebook advertising on their own in the past, their complaints usually is that they're seeing lackluster results, but that's, I would say, is because they might not be an expert in that particular field of Facebook advertising, and they might be just focusing more on, let's say, their product development or whatnot.
So how important is the copy that you write in your ad?
Well, yeah, I mean, all the components are, I'd say, pretty important. Copy is definitely one of them. You want to have a really eye-grabbing headline. You want to have an image or a video that brings people in, but also the copy is extremely important because you want to have users understand what it is that you're trying to engage them with, and then they can, of course, see, is this something that I'm interested in, or should I just keep scrolling in my feed? So yeah, I'd say ad copy is important. And then the things that I've seen lately is kind of more colloquial ad copy, so more like you're speaking as you would to like a person, let's say you met at a party, instead of like marketing type of ad copy. So more just like introducing yourself and talking about what it is that you do and why your product is important.
So you'd mentioned that the video ads are highly effective now. So what are you seeing with respect to the length of the videos being used? Is there an optimum length of a video for the video ads you see is getting higher results than either a shorter or a longer?
That's a good question, and I've had that question asked many times. In terms of length, it really, I'd say, depends, but I'd say you probably want to have at least a 2 or 3 minute video because you want to get to, you want to provide some value and some content to your users who are watching this video. We've done usually kind of like in the 3 to 8 minute video for our clients. I mean, I've heard of other advertisers doing, up to 16 minutes. I think, you want to make sure you're telling a good story, of course. Mm-hmm. That's part of it. So it depends on how long, your story is and how it might take a little longer to be on your video. So yeah, I'd say the rule of thumb would probably be somewhere around 3 to 10 minutes. But again, it could be longer if there's more to tell in your story.
Yeah, it really is going to boil down to how effective you are at telling your story, and can you do it very concisely in a shorter amount of time, or do you need the longer time to make your story that much more effective? So Jean, how do you know if your funnel or ads are effective, and what do you need to have in place to determine this? And just a second part of that, what do you measure, and what are some of the general benchmarks someone has when you're on what you should be monitoring?
Yeah, that's a very good question because analytics is extremely important when you're running funnels or paid media, because you want to make sure that the money that you're spending on creating all of this is actually bringing in sales on the back end for you. So in terms of the funnel, I'm going to start with the funnel first. I would usually recommend testing out a funnel with an internal list because if you're doing both testing on the funnel and, let's say, paid media, then you have too many variables that you're trying to test. So you already have an internal list. You already have, let's say, if you do have an internal list, if that's an option for you, you have a list that you already know a little bit more about it. So and you're trying to market this particular funnel to them or the products in this funnel. So in terms of the metrics that you want to look for, of course, you want to look for sales and engagement with your funnel, and then optimize it as you're going along if you need to. So the internal list will kind of give you a better understanding of what are the things that you need to maybe change or update in your funnel. In terms of paid media, you of course want to measure look for metrics and measurements there as well. So one of the things I always get asked about is the Facebook pixel. So in order to measure Facebook and see how well it is performing for you in terms of your ad spend, you have to install a Facebook pixel. So that basically allows you to track and conversions and stats on your website. So if you're sending traffic from a Facebook ad to your website, it allows basically brings reports back to Facebook that they'll be able to tell you, how many users are coming from Facebook ads, how many are converting, and how many, let's say, are opting in, or how many are actually purchasing. So extremely important to set up your Facebook pixel correctly in order to see where your ad spend is going. So in terms of metrics to look for on the front end, I would really look at engagement on Facebook, and click-through rates. Now, I think those are good metrics, or to look for. I don't think they're like the top, the be-all metrics to look for, but you definitely want to keep an eye on those. And of course, if you have low click-through rates, I mean, it's not the end of the world, and you don't necessarily have to end your campaign, but you definitely want to keep an eye on those. You definitely want to keep an eye and look every day at, say, if you're running a Facebook ad, if your Facebook ads on CPMs, CPCs, and CPLs. So I mean, just break that down really quickly. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, so CPMs are cost per 1,000 impressions, which is one method that Facebook charges you. So you're basically charged on every time somebody sees an ad. CPCs are cost per click, so anytime somebody clicks on your ad. And then CPLs are cost per lead, so how much are you spending per lead when actually someone opts into your list. So those are very important to look at, because you want to get those down to a point where it's manageable and you're actually having ROI on the back end. The next metrics I'd say on the next level would be CPA, sales, and ROI. So CPA is a cost per acquisition. So how many dollars does it take for you to acquire a customer? So a customer that actually is a paying customer. And of course, you want to look at your sales. So what kind of revenue are you getting from all of these Facebook ads? And then of course the ROI. So what is the return on investment? So you're spent, let's say $100, but you've made $150 from Facebook advertising. And then the last metric that I would highly recommend, and this is more for mature businesses, is the lifetime value. So over the period of time, let's say 6 months or a year, you've been running Facebook ads, and maybe you can start off with maybe just a couple of months after running Facebook ads, but you want to see what the lifetime value of a customer is. So once a customer enters your funnel and becomes a paying customer, and then you upsell them to, let's say, other products, you want to see how long is actually the customer staying with you and how much over time have they spent with you. So that is the lifetime value of a customer, which I think is extremely important, because then you can tie it back to, let's say, Facebook advertising or display or native advertising based on the channel that you're currently using. So those are the metrics that I would highly recommend looking at and keeping an eye on, and actually creating reports for when you're running funnels or paid media.
Yeah, there's a lot of great information there, and if you didn't catch it all, just obviously go back and write down, rewind this. Once it's on the replay, go back and write that information down, and just make sure that you're looking at and looking into all of those different benchmarks and different things that you should be checking on a regular basis. Now, Gene, the last question I have for you is a hypothetical question. Let's say that heaven forbid it ever happened, but you lost every single thing today, and you had to start all over from scratch tomorrow in a brand new business. So a brand new business, not one that you are currently doing, just a brand new business. What's the number one thing that you'd focus on with respect to the digital marketing space to generate you leads and money? And what would you need to put in place, and how long do you think it would take you to build that and to start making you money?
Well, one thing is is hard to say, but there's a few things. I mean, I think the number one thing that I would say would be building a tribe. So you want to build a user base. It could be through, let's say, Facebook, or it could be through YouTube, or it could be through your email list, that you want to build a tribe of users who are interested in your products, are interested in your company, and would want, are interested in engaging with you. So I'd say that would be the number one. Let's say if tomorrow I decided to leave my service business, leave Ginball, and not have an agency, that would be probably the first thing that I would start. And creating your authority, of course, because that's definitely a big piece of creating a tribe. But then, of course, incorporating all the things that we just spoke about today. So making sure you have a funnel, making sure that you're running paid media, make sure, of course, you have a website. So yeah, I'd say the number one thing would be building a tribe. Excellent.
Well, Gene, that's all the time that we have for today. I want to thank you personally so much for being on the show, sharing so much valuable information with the audience on digital marketing, what they can utilize, what they should focus on to help them build their business, their brand, their following, their income, serve more people, and make a bigger impact in people's lives. So I thank you very much for joining us today, and I just invite everyone else to stick around for some closing remarks in just a second. Well, thanks for joining me on today's John A. McCabe Show, where we work with entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, and speakers get seen, get heard, get noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device. Now, also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now, if you're someone who's looking to take your business to the next level and want to get some coaching advice, why not apply to be a guest on today's show? Now, for most entrepreneurs, we want to create a life of our own, create our own path, and do what we can to reach our own desired outcome, which is generally freedom. Freedom to choose what we want to do, when we want to do it, and with whom we want to do it. A life that's full of options and choices, where we worry less about money and more about the quality of time that we spend with others. Now, a great way to make that happen is to leverage other people's knowledge, time, and skill sets. Step one to reaching our freedom life is to realize that you can't do it alone. Working with a coach or being involved in masterminds is a great way for entrepreneurs to move their business forward. Now, a coach can help you shorten the time frame to get you from where you are to where you want to be, while being part of a mastermind is meant to bring entrepreneurs together, all with the goal of helping each other move forward with their business. Now, the second step to creating the life you envision for yourself as an entrepreneur is to implement systems into your business so you can streamline your operations, leverage systems, and free up your time to focus on your family, having fun, and the highest leverage activities in your business. You know, the activities that get you the biggest return on your time invested, the ones that truly make you money. Now, sometimes we just don't know what systems we need, how to implement those systems, or even have the time to find out what is needed. Now, working with a coach or consultant that understands, uses, and specializes in systems that can streamline your operations can help save you time, aggravation, and make you a lot more money. Now, for example, having a system or strategy that allows you to leverage just 15 hours of your time into enough repurposed content to get you seen, get you heard, get you noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device is a great example of leverage. Now, just imagine a system where you invest just 15 hours of your time, and the end result is you're a #1 best-selling author. You have enough content that's going to get you seen, get you heard, get you noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device. You have a successful podcast. Now, it's automatically attracting more attention, giving more value, and generating more leads, which enables you to attract an abundance of paying customers. Now, this is also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now, to find out more about the Authority Acceleration Blueprint, coaching program, or mastermind, then contact me via my website at johnamccabe.com or connect with me through my show's Facebook page. Now, again, thank you for joining us on today's show, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's show when I have another great guest on discussing their business and accelerating their authority. So have yourself an amazing day, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon.